Welcome to Core Moves Active Stretch and Recovery Day. So our focus today for our recovery is going to be our balance poses. The key things to think about in our balance poses is what the foot is doing. So our feet get highly ignored. It's probably one of the more important parts of our body that we ignore all the time. We're used to cramming them into shoes that either are not ergonomically correct for the sole of our foot, or too narrow, or too high, or too small, or too big, and quite often are a victim of fashion over function. Also, people just aren't barefoot often enough, and part of that comes from having really hard floors in your house. If you have hard floors, you shouldn't be barefoot in your floors, so you're going to start to get plantar fasciitis or Achilles tendon syndrome. But it is important to be barefoot, especially if you are on grass or sand at the beach. I wouldn't recommend walking barefoot in a trail because you might get splinters. But anyway, so the point of our balance poses is to reconnect with our feet and think about all those little intrinsic muscles between the metatarsals that have to exercise them and make them strong. So you want to be pushing the weight equally into your big toe and your pinky toe and feel that bridge of your foot connected with the floor as much as the heel of your foot. And you always want to feel like you're trying to peel your arch away from the floor. Okay, and then check, are your knees directly over your middle two toes? Are your thighs contracted? Is your belly pulled in and your glutes connected? And that strong, long line through the center of your body. So we're going to focus on that in our balance poses today. Keep thinking about the outside of your hip and the inside arch of your foot while you push your big toe down. Okay, so those are little tips just to help you keep that core balance. So let's start standing up with our feet hip distance apart. So setting up our base correctly to begin with. I'm just going to peel those toes away from the floor and spread them nice and wide and place them down, make them look like Frodo feet. Picking up on the arch of the feet, contract through the quads, pull the belly in and the shoulders come down and back. Arms down by our sides. Get strong and connected in those arms, and we're just going to reach them up towards the ceiling, keeping them shoulder distance or slightly wider. Then we're going to lift the chest slightly, coming back to a little baby back bend to salute the sun. Exhale, come back to your neutral line. Turn your palms to face towards the front of the room, reaching up nice and wide, feeling those shoulders separate, and then in towards the midline of the body. One more time, reach them up. Inhale, little baby back bend, keeping the hips nice and quiet. Exhale, stack the body back in its neutral position. Reach those arms out wide to the side. Bring your hands to your hips and roll up onto the ball of the right foot. Now we're going to float that foot away from the floor. So we're finding the balance on the outside of the left hip. Keep pushing that left big toe into the floor and float that leg up higher. Try not to collapse into that hip, so think about the inside of the thigh. Focus on one balance point, and if that's too much for you, just bring your toe to the floor, okay, and hold your balance there. But you have to use your core to float that leg up. You have to use the muscles on the outside of the hip. You should be able to push into your glute med there, that little muscle right kind of behind the hip bone, and feel that popping out. Now we're going to start to add on some movement. So we're going to tap that toe down and lift it up. And you can reach your arms back overhead in that salute the sun position if that's for you, or you can keep them at your hips, or you can reach them out wide to the side if that helps you with your balance, or out in front. But keep that collarbone nice and wide and use those abdominals to pick that toe up. We're controlling with the top of the thigh, the belly is pulled in, and those little oblique muscles going down the sides there are helping to flex that foot up. So if you actually touch in your abdomen, you'll feel that contraction of those muscles. And again, that glute med, or those muscles right around the top of the left glute are working. And the belly's pulled in. And we're still tapping. And if that's too much for you, just tap the toe to the floor and just lift it a little. Bring it down, lift it a little, and try to keep that connection on your balance. Okay, we've got two more toe taps. And this time lift it up. Now connect the toe to the knee, the shin, the thigh, and then spin the thigh up so you come into your tree pose. Again, you can have your toe on the floor and rest your heel on the inside of your ankle. Keep that straight line down that left leg, wherever your tree is. Don't put the heel on the knee. It can come above the knee and the ball of the foot below the knee, but you don't want it on the knee. It can come up nice and high. Wherever it is for you, make sure you're still strong and straight in that left leg, and keep pushing that knee out to the side, holding the belly in, finding that nice, long and strong tree pose. All of the toes pushing equally into the floor, lifting up through the arch. Now take the foot away, wrap it over the knee, begin to bend that knee and sit your body back into your figure four stretch. Still finding that balance on your left foot. So we haven't collapsed into the side. Our glute is still keeping us perpendicular to the floor on that supporting leg. And our toe, our big toe and our pinky toe are equally pushing into the floor. The arch is really lifting away, so you might be finding a lot of fatigue in that foot now because we've been standing and pulling that arch away from the floor for so long. Take one more inhale, sit a little deeper. As you exhale, begin to lengthen up and bring your body back to your tree. If you need to, place your foot down for a minute and then pick it back up to your calf, your ankle, your calf, over the knee, or inner thigh. Wow, that was really bad. And push the knee out to the side, push the hip into the foot and the foot into the hip. Pull the belly in, find that connection. I keep looking at my timer and at you guys on the screen, and then I lose my balance. So keep your gaze or your focus on one point. Keep breathing and pulling the belly in, finding that stillness and stability in that left leg. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to pull that foot away from our standing tree, and we're going to place it down on the floor directly underneath the sit bone. Push the knee down, and you should be back into your standing parallel. Pick your toes up for a minute, and then place them down, and just come up on the ball of the left foot and put it down again. Lift the hands up towards the ceiling. Inhale, little baby back bend. Salute the sun. Exhale, come back into neutral. Hands out wide to the side. Now we're going to add a little plie, so just warming up the knees here. We're just going to bend the knees forward a little bit, sliding our back down the wall behind us. Inhale, reach the hands up, straighten the legs, little baby back bend. Exhale, hands come out wide down to the hips, little baby plie. One more time, push into the feet, reach the hands up, little baby back bend. Stack the body back in your neutral, hands out wide to the side. And bring your hands back to your hips. Transfer the weight to the right leg. Find that connection with your right glute. Squeeze the glute. Squeeze the inner thigh. Contract the quad. Come up on the ball of the left foot. And then float that foot up. Remember, if you need to keep it down, keep it down. But try and challenge yourself to lift it so the thigh is parallel to the floor. We're not collapsing to that right side. We're keeping that engagement of the glutes. The pelvis, is level. If you need to, be close to something that you can grab onto for your balance and support. But find that balance, find that connection with the core. Push the big toe and the pinky toe equally into the floor. We're going to add on the toe tap. So we're going to tap that toe down. Use the belly to draw it up. Tap the toe down. And you might find that you're better on your right side than on your left. You might find you're better on your left side than your right. Usually we have one side that it's a bit weaker. Usually our dominant leg is opposite to our dominant hand. Make sure that the obliques are lifting that knee and we're not hiking that hip up. It's staying level and square. Remember, you can lift those hands up overhead if it helps you to keep that connection with the spine, to keep the body nice and long. Push into the pinky toe and the big toe, peeling the arch away from the floor. The shoulders are away from the ears. Finding that connection with the belly, the rib cage is pulled down and in. And just gentle taps in the range of movement that feels good for your body. And bring your hands back to your hips if they were up or out to the side. Lift the leg up and then connect it to wherever you're going to do your tree. So side of the knee, side of the ankle, side of the thigh, and push that hip back in. Level that pelvis. Take your tree wherever feels good for you. Remember to push the inside of the thigh into the inside arch of the foot, or the inside of the calf into the inside arch of the foot. Pull the belly in, find that core, shoulders are relaxed, and breathe. Keep squeezing the glute. Keep finding that energy in the arch of the foot. Pushing the toes into the floor. This feels so good to do on sand. And from there, grab onto your foot, take your tree away. So if you're at the ankle, Take your tree away, lift it up over the knee, send that knee out to the side, and sit those hips back into your figure four. So rebalance your foot. Push equally into the base of the big toe, that sort of knuckle of your big toe, as much as you're pushing into the knuckle of the pinky toe. And keep sitting those sit bones back, finding length in the spine, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Remember, this is our balance poses. We're focusing on that outside of the hip. You'll feel this in your calf muscle. You'll feel this in the arch of your foot. Your foot will probably feel a little bit burny or tingly. And then we're going to come back up to standing and back into our tree. So you can stay there like that if that's for you. You can come down like that. You can come down to the floor, or you can slide it up the inside of the leg and find your tree pose. Wherever it is for you, check your hips are level. Push that supporting leg back away from the sideline of the body so that you're perpendicular to the floor. And breathe. Shoulders down and back. Rib cage is pulled in, belly button towards the side. Lift the pelvic floor. Relax. Try and relax the foot. It's hard because if you close your eyes, your foot works even harder as you lose your visual point of focus. And then take that foot away and bring it back to parallel. Bring the toe to the floor. Articulate through the toe ball foot. Bring your feet back to standing neutral and just walk both knees forward for a minute. Okay, from there, we're going to open the feet out to second position. So nice and wide. You want your heels to be about shoulder distance, like the outside of your shoulders, or a little bit wider. And we're going to come down into a nice gentle plie. So just nice and soft. And we're just going to stay here and pulse. Just little pulses, getting deeper every time, driving the knees out to the side, opening up through the hips. Okay, we put a lot of tension in the hips when we're doing those balance poses because we have to work through the glutes. And then holding that foot up, we want to work through those hip flexors instead of using the abdominals. So it's nice to just be able to stretch them out after, and you can come all the way up and come all the way down, or you can just stay and pulse in your little plie or in your sumo squat and just breathe and focus. And then we're just going to come up a little bit, so we're just in a gentle plie and we're going to do side bends to the left. So we're going to sweep the right hand up and create a nice round shape with the side line of the body and bring it down. And again, to the left, sweeping it up, arching the side of the body and bringing it down. One more time, sweeping it up and over and bringing it down. Now reach the arms out wide to the side. Pick up the right heel and turn it so the outside edge of the foot is parallel with the edge of the mat, and make sure your left foot is following the length of your mat, and sink your hips down into your warrior two. Reach those fingertips wide, pull the belly in, keep pushing the knee out to the side, and come strong into that nice warrior two. Stay and breathe here, pulling the shoulders away from the ears and the belly in. Inhaling, pick up the right heel and spin towards the front of your mat, coming into your strong lunge. Push the heel down towards the floor, squeeze the glute, pull the belly in, trying to keep your pelvis perpendicular to the floor. Now we're going to fly our warrior. So we're going to hinge the body forward, lifting that heel up. I'm going to come back so I stay in the frame. Find the weight transfer to that left foot and begin to lift the right foot up and reach your hands and your toes away from each other. If that's too much for you, you can bring your hands back if it hurts in the shoulders, or you're crunching your shoulders up to your ears too much. Otherwise, try and find that nice strength and stability. And your toe might be down here, and that's okay. And you're just trying to float it off and bringing it back. But we're trying to focus on that balance through that left leg. Find that connection with the glutes, lifting the arch of the foot. And then breathing. We're going to pull that foot in, place it right up against the other foot. Glue those inner thighs together and sink the body down into our chair. Spine is nice and long, hips are nice and low. Inhale, exhale, push into the floor. Stand up tall. Inhale, little baby back bend. Exhale, come back to your standing neutral. Sink the hips back down into your chair. Keep the spine lifted, nice and tall. Inhaling, pick up the ball of the right foot, step it back,
Squeeze the glute, push the heel down into that strong lunge. Holding here in your lunge, finding your power and strength in your legs. Breathing, keeping those shoulders away from the ears. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, transfer yourself back to your warrior two. Outside edge of the foot parallel with the back edge. Front foot following the length of the mat. Reach those fingertips wide. Pull the belly in. Stack the head over the shoulders. Reach those arms out wide, looking towards those left fingertips. Stay and breathe, strong through those legs. Find that focus through the center of the body. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that leg. Pull the right heel back in. Come back down to your sumo squat or your plie. And side bend to the left. And back up. Come over here and to the left. And back up. And the left. And back up. This time we're going to come over to the left and then round through the body, straighten the legs, and bring ourselves into a little bit of a twisted forward fold. So you're reaching your right hand to the outside of your left leg, and you're trying to pull your body over to the left side while you're staying flexed. Stay there and breathe in through the nose, and then as you exhale, come into the center. Stay and relax in that forward fold. Adjust your feet if you need to, especially if you feel any tension in the back of the knees. And find the heaviness in the torso as it hangs off your hips. Stay and breathe. Inhale. As you exhale, transfer over to the right side. Reach your left hand to the outside of your right thigh, right ankle, right shin, or right thigh, and twist as you're in this forward fold. Take another inhale. As you exhale, roll the body up from the right side and come all the way up to standing. Adjust those feet if you need to, and back down into our sumo squat or our plie. And we're going to pulse. Back down. So remember, you can come all the way up, you can come all the way down, whatever feels good for you, or you can just stay down and keep trying to drive those knees out wider, focusing on those knees going over the toes. And your turnout might not be that much, so you might be down here like this, more in a chair pose, and that's totally okay. But we want to try and open up those hips, keep driving them wider, using the glutes, finding that strength in the hip muscles and all those muscles around the outside of the hips. Stay there and breathe, come up to a nice comfortable stance, and we'll do gentle side bend to the right. And lengthen up. And over to the right. Drawing that nice long line like a rainbow. We're arching the body over a beach ball. And this time over to the right, and then reach those arms out strong for your warrior two. Turn that left heel out now so that it follows the back edge of your mat. Turn your right heel in so that you follow the length of your mat, and lunge the body forward. Try not to tilt forward. Keep the body upright, belly pulled in, knee drives out wide to the side. We reach strong through those hands, finding that nice strong warrior two. Staying and breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now pick up that left heel, spin the body towards the right foot, and lunge it down. Squeeze the glute, sink the hips, finding that nice strong position in your lunge, shoulders away from the ear. We're going to transfer to our flying warrior, So from here, tilt the body forward, find that weight, release, into your strong, standing, flying warrior. Remember, you can bring your hands back if you want to. Finding that control in the arch of the foot. Stay and breathe. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bend that knee. Bring the foot back to the floor. Scoop it in and come into your chair pose. Inner thighs, feet are glued together nice and strong in this chair. Stand up tall. Little baby back bend. Salute the sun. Come back down, slide the hips down for your chair. Stay here and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more inhale. Come up on the ball of the left foot. Step it back into your lunge. Stay and breathe in that lunge, finding that nice strong support. And then take another inhale as you exhale. Open back out to your warrior two. Reach that knee forward. Open the hips. Arms come out wide to the side. Look towards that right fingertip. Strong through those shoulders. Keep the hips squared with the front edge of your mat and your hands reaching away from each other. And breathe. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And take one more inhale. As you exhale, straighten that leg, turn the body back to the front, turn the heel back in into your sumo plie. And we're doing those side bends to the right again. Over to the right and lengthen up. To the right and up. Over to the right. And this time we go over and then we straighten the legs as we come into the forward fold and reach the hand to the outside edge of that right leg. Twist and fold and breathe, relaxing the feet. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, come into the center. Adjust your feet if you need to. Let your torso be heavy on your hips. You can kind of rock side to side a little bit if you want to. This is your stretch and recovery day. Whatever option you take, just make sure it feels good for your body. And then rotate over towards the left side, reaching the hands to the outside of the left leg to get that rotation and stretch. Stay and breathe. And then open the body up, rise the body up from the left side, back out to the side. Turn the heels in, the toes in, the heels in, the toes in, until you come back into your standing parallel. Now reach your right arm across the body, hook it with the left arm, pull the shoulder down, and stretch that shoulder. And release, left arm across the right, hook it with the right arm, stretching the shoulder. And release, and then reach both hands back. Squeeze the hands together and then just gently pull the hands towards the feet so that you come into this nice, strong, we're not pinching those shoulders back. We're opening the front of the chest, but the shoulders should feel nice and relaxed. And then we're going to tilt the body forward into a forward fold. And then allow the hands to be heavy as they pull closer towards the floor. Stay and breathe here. And then inhale, release the hands, exhale, roll the body up. One vertebrae at a time, stacking yourself all the way up towards the top of the ceiling, And then we're going to reach the hands up and out wide to the side. And again, reach the hands up and out wide to the side. One more time, reach those hands up, out wide to the side. Now from here, keep those hands glued in close to the body. We're going to peel the heels away from the floor. Find your balance. Pull the belly in. Stay and breathe. Feel that weight equal across the bridge of your foot, and then slowly lower the heels down. This time we're going to sweep the hands up while we do it. So sweep the hands up as you rise those heels up. Hold and breathe. And then arms drive out wide to the side as we slowly lower the heels. Last time. Sweep it up, lift the heels. Find that balance. And arms out wide to the side. Lower the heels. Connect the belly. Find that nice strength and stability. Lift the toes. Lower the toes. And feel that weight equal across the three corners of your feet, all the way across the bridge, into the heel. The arch is pulled away from the floor. And you might find actually that your quads are more connected now, that they're naturally contracting, and your glutes are naturally contracting, and your belly is naturally pulling in, and your shoulders are naturally pulling down and back. And that's just that awareness that we've brought to our body by focusing on those balanced positions and how the foot affects those. And whenever our foot is in a good anatomical position, we're going to set up the whole body in our strong neutral anatomical position. So with that, well done. It's important to focus on those balance poses and think about our feet every now and then. And this is a good active stretch and recovery day to come back to. And you might have found you were a little bit wobbly today, especially going into that flying warrior. You might have found standing in those tree poses really, really painful for your foot or fatiguing for your foot. And that just tells your body that actually maybe you need to practice standing on one foot a little bit more. Maybe when you're brushing your teeth, think, can I just pick that foot up and just balance on my right leg and balance on my left leg?
and bring more awareness to your feet so that as we age, we can keep good anatomical movement of the foot and the ankle and the knee and the hip, because everything translates upward, from the foot up, from the pelvis down. So it's really important to think about what your feet are doing so that you can keep your body strong and connected. So we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you.